Yeah, the fun of playing in the mud. This ain't good here. It's gonna be easier when we're doing. I did it the other night. Problem is I gotta clean some of this crap out of here. Yeah, about 3 nights ago I was mixing feed. Same thing in mud like this. And I think the tracks are getting too loose, tearing up the sidewalls. That one ain't too bad. This one is shredding up the sidewall a little bit, and I blew the tire. Well, I have this rim and tire here I kept for a spare. The only decent extra rim I have around here, and I just screwed it all up because I just drove this from across the road down the driveway to get it here. So at least this time I can clean it out and not fight all the mud. But problem was this tire, you could see cords right on the face of the tire here. Anything anywhere on top here? You don't see it there now. But anyway, that was 3 nights ago. And it got by. I knew this tire wasn't the best, but it was holding. Well, last night I'm in the house, and I heard a big bang outside. And first I thought it was somebody shooting at something down the road. So I went outside to look, and there ain't nobody out there, nobody down the road or anything. And I looked over to the skid steer and I said, I just wonder if that tire blew. So I go out there, and sure enough, this tire was flat. Just sitting there, blew. So I had to go get the tire fixed. Well, actually replaced. I'll show that here. See, the tires and rims I took off this skid steer, the rims were shot. But at the time, the tires were getting worn. Well, it's just as easy to buy 2 tires and 2 rims. I did one side, and then I did the other side a couple months later. So I have these tires here. I mean, they ain't bad. I mean, this one was actually holding air, which we were surprised, but it did have a tube in it. But, it's getting kind of flat, but it's a decent tire. I mean, it's cracking, but like I say, if I'm going to shred up tires, I don't want to buy new ones, and I can't afford new ones anyhow. But that's the rim we took off. I don't even know how the tube was even holding air on there, or how it was even staying on the rim. I was surprised. I wasn't even thinking. I thought, well, this is a pretty decent tire. It's holding air. This has got to be a good tire. I'll take this one. The other 3, they broke off the bead and stuff, but they should be about the same shape as this. They don't look too bad. Never thinking that they couldn't clamp this in their tire machine. They got it to hold, and it was a chore. I mean, it did take them maybe about 15 minutes. It wasn't all that bad, but I was surprised we got it off. So we did got it mounted on here. I'm just hoping I don't lose the bead, because I'm going to put some stuff in this tire. I don't really want to put a tube back in it, but I got that fancy tire eject, and I have it in 2 tires on this skid steer. Yeah, 3 tires actually. I'm pretty sure these 2 tires have it, because I think I put them in when I put these new tires on. And that one there I know has it, because I put the red cap on there. But that tire looks like it does need some air, so I'm going to be checking that one before I'm done. But as I say, this one's on concrete all the time, so these are get balded up. But so I'm going to go back to planning this. I got to get this done. I was going to do another project on this today, but it's the wrong side. Thought, well, since I had this track off, I was going to pull the front axle, but it's actually this axle I got to pull. I got a problem in this side. I'm not sure what it is here yet, and that's why I got to pull the axle out to look. But when it mostly does it when I'm backing up and turning to the right. When the machine is pushing into the tire, I get it's sporadic, but it's doing it more and more. I'm getting a clicking and a cracking, popping noise, a banging noise. But as long as I go straight, turn left, it's not a problem. So I'm not sure if, I'm hoping it's not, that either the drive gear in there is starting to get stripped, or the chain is loose enough that it's jumping the track, which I don't know, or the sprocket, which I don't know why I wouldn't do it more often. But I do need to put new drive chains in this thing. But it's not a 5-minute job. I mean, I got to pull this panel off in between the tires, and I know every damn one of them bolts is going to break. This is a project I've been going to do for about a year now. I got the new bolts and everything. I just got to take the time to do it. And but I said, I figured, well, since I had this track off, putting the tire on, but here it's on the wrong side, so I might actually play around here and tighten this track up, because that's the other thing, is it is too loose and I'm spinning in them. So, but I'm gonna stop it right here for now, because I think that interesting watching a garden hose spray. So we'll be back. Well, I got it this far. I didn't show putting the tire eject into it, because, well, one thing, I was a little leery whether the bead was going to pop off and I was going to be swearing trying to get the bead to reset, but luckily that all held. And I really don't have that good of a way to set the phone down here to record sometimes, but I got that back on, tightened up. This the tire I took off, I used for a spare. I mean, that's what the tire was like when I put it on. And it finally just let loose right there. Blew that out. But like I said, it's amazing to me it blew just sitting. So now what I gotta do is, while I'm at it, I'm gonna hose out these rims, because I'm gonna be checking air pressure on all these tires, because I think that's more the problem that happened to the tire that was on here. The tire probably was low on air, and if you get too much slack in these tires, where the hose at? They say it starts spinning in the tires. You can see there it's chewing up the treads. That there don't bother me as much as when it's a sidewall, and that's what happened to the tire that blew. And I don't know, these might only be 8-ply tires, these Bobcats. And for the price, I thought Bobcats were a pretty good tire at the time, so I mean, they were a pretty decent deal. I'm just forgetting now if these were 10-ply or if I had to go with 8-ply. Yeah, these are 10-plies. Last ones I bought, I think them two on that skid steer, that might only be 8-plies, but scraping the bar stuff, I don't need 8-plies or 10-plies on that one. I like the 10-ply on here because of the tracks. It's a lot harder on tires. Some of this out rims, that's a problem here. That's why I don't want a tube in these, even though them pack up full of mud. You can twist in there and break the valve stem. These are just short stubby ones. They're tubeless valve stem. And they bolt on there. They just don't pull through and pop through. These are actually got gaskets on each side and pull in to clamp it on. Clean this up a little bit more, because like I say, I got to put that damn thing back on. Like I say, of course, it didn't matter where I took it off at, it's all going to be in the mud. But I guess I'm ready to do that, and like I say, try to take some of the slack out of them. going to try to take at least one hole up in these because I'm spinning a lot. And that's another little trick about putting tracks on. If you let some of the air out of the tires, then put the tracks on, pump them up, you can get them tighter. It's miserable trying to pull them close enough to get the bolts back in and get them tight. You'll get them tight enough, but you can get them a little bit more. Actually, if you take them down to about 25-30 pounds, get your tracks on and take them back up. I run 50 to 60 pounds. I think these are only supposed to be 40, 50, maybe they're 50. So that's what I'm going to work on here next. I don't know if I'm going to show putting that track on or not. So we'll see what goes on here. And here's another quick little trick. One problem, like I said, with a flat tire, you can't get a jack underneath this damn thing because it'll go down, and that's a problem too. It was going back, leaning back to this back corner, and like I said, this was almost on the ground. So what I'd end up doing is taking the other skid steer, pushing down in the bucket to get this back corner up. But to jack these up without a jack, just get a block underneath this corner, or underneath that back end on whichever corner, and then just curl your bucket down, and it will pick this up high enough that you can put a tire and stuff on without a jack. And the front ones are easy. The same thing, you don't need that block back there. You just curl the bucket down, you can lift the front end up, change your tire. And that's why in the winter time, like on that skid steer, when I put the tire chains on it, I put it on the front tires because I can curl the bucket down, get the chains on without moving it anywhere, and then I'm good to go. So I thought I'd share that little tidbit. Yeah, I didn't show the struggle of getting this stretched out. I got this side. This might be a little too tight over here. But this thing, everything's all packed full of mud. To drive it around here a little bit, it'll squish itself out, work it around, work it in. But it ain't too bad. As long as it ain't freezing, I can run them a little bit tighter. When they freeze, that stuff gets hard in there and then it doesn't flex as much. So this side, I would like to take it up a little bit more, but I don't think I'm going to get another one. Of course, by the time I take these off, it's going to stretch out. But there ain't no easy way to do this. It's just a matter of keep moving. I use one of these big ratchet straps, one of these fence stretchers. It's just a matter of finding where it's pulling the right way to pull it in, and go back and forth. That's the problem. You hook it, like if you hook it on here when you're trying to do this one, it's pulling this one down, then you can't get these together, so you got to go back an extra tread or so on each side to get the slack. Then that's why I take this to help pull and get it lined up, get a screwdriver in there. It's no easy way to do it, but I took, you move to tighten these, just go from this hole to these inner ones, and I think each hole takes an inch out of it. So I took moved one hole up on that side, and the other thing I did, these have 1.25 inch bushings in here. I think they're 1.25 inch, but they're getting more and they're mooned on one side, so the ones I've moved, I've flipped over, so that's giving me that much more. So I might have taken like 1.5 inches up on that side, and I moved 2 holes on this one and flipped 2 bushings, so I got probably 3 inches up on this side. So this side was way too loose. The other thing is, you're not supposed to do this according to the instructions. See, they'd all be on these outer ones. You're not supposed to go to the inner ones on the same tread. Or, no, you shouldn't. That's not right. It shouldn't be like this one. This is an inner one and an inner one. This you're not supposed to do. You could be an inner here and an inner here as long as you're an outer here. But I don't know what difference it makes. I mean, I'm getting so much slack taken out of these. I probably could stretch these all out and take a whole link or tread out of one of these, maybe, because that's how where these bushings are getting in here. But I'm on I guess I'm right here. An outer and inner. Inner, outer. Yeah, I guess I'm right here. But yeah, you're not supposed to be... Shouldn't move this one to this one. But I have done it on here. I can't see any right now. But you do what you got to do. I mean, as long as it's not binding up and catching, you run it however you got to run it. So I guess I'm going to call this one an end here. I'm going to hose out these rims to find the valve stems. Go check the air in these. Because like right here, this is what I was talking about. It's tearing up the sidewall of the tires. And like I said, that's from too much slack in it. So like I said, that's what I got to do. Check the air pressure in these. I got to pump up the tire on that one. And then I'm tired of messing. I'm getting sick of this. There's just mud everywhere. It's getting to the point I might have to stop watching videos. I'm getting tired of watching all these guys do something out in the field. But like I say, every area is different. We're one of the later areas around here. Get up around the lake shore. They might be going here in 2 weeks. Here, we're going to be a month before we can do anything here. So, not much you can do. You can't fight Mother Nature. So, I'm going to finish this up and get feed mixed. So, we'll catch up with you guys later.